current situation in the hospital in New York City is just devastating. For me to even pick a word to describe it is just not even appropriate. We've never even studied or expected the situation to come to the United States, especially New York City being at the epicenter of this pandemic. What we see here in the city is millions of people coming into our hospitals who feel symptoms. Some don't feel symptoms at all, are just panicking. But we do not have enough tests to accommodate everyone. We don't have enough vents. We have people who are dying because they cannot get on a ventilator. We don't have any structure in terms of what treatment to give these patients. We don't have knowledge, we don't have staff, and we don't have equipment. I'm a specialty. I'm under anesthesiology, so I don't have any training in treating pulmonary disease compared to a pulmonologist, and we're all treating COVID-positive patients. So what that means is you'll have a dermatologist who is in the forefront treating this condition on patients. So we lack the knowledge, we lack the experience. We are all trying our best to figure out what to do with the small amount of guidance we have. In terms of protection, up until yesterday, we had absolutely nothing. I myself went in multiple times to see COVID-positive patients. So that means they've already been tested. They are actively presenting with symptoms without even a mask because we just don't have it. Yesterday, we did get a huge shipment in of masks, not enough N95 masks. Before this pandemic, my normal schedule was 3 to 5 12-hour shifts a week. Now, I've clocked in over 100 hours a week. This week alone, there was days that I didn't come home for 4 days, eat, sleep in the hospital without even showering. I feel as if I leave, that's one less person that I can help, and I know all my colleagues and coworkers feel the same. We feel very guilty leaving because we know if we leave, people are going to die because there's not enough staff. Currently, we do have a lot of staff who are tested positive. Due to the lack in staff available to work and treat patients, the recommendations that our facilities, our hospital are giving is if you've tested positive but you're asymptomatic, you are to come back to work within 7 days. No repeat test is needed. The facilities are only testing the workers if they have high fever or if they're short of breath or have any respiratory symptoms. Currently, we do not have enough ventilators, and that is one of the main reasons why people are dying. So ideally, the research that has come out of China, because they're about a month ahead from us, is that the earliest you intubate patients, the safest you put their chance of recovery at, because you're taking the pressure off the lungs to work and you give it some time to heal. But what's happening is because we don't have enough ventilators, we're waiting until the last possible second to intubate somebody, right? Because when we intubate them, we have to sedate them and put them in a medically induced coma because we don't know if somebody else is going to appear who's in worse shape. The age average of critical patients that we're seeing is above 50, I would say, above 50. I did have a patient who was 18 years old who had to be intubated 2 times. We intubated him once. We thought he was doing better. We extubated him. He only lasted without the ventilator maybe 15 hours, and we had to intubate him again. Now think about it. This is a kid, 18 years old. He has no comorbidities. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do drugs. He has no history, and he's hooked on a ventilator now, fighting for his life over 7 days. Currently, we see a really, really impactful gratitude from the population here. I'll give you guys some examples of what they've been doing to help us, which is very comforting. A lot of local restaurants have been donating a lot of food to feed all the staff Yesterday, I walked home. There was maybe 50 people just cheering and clapping for all of us as we're coming out of the hospital. It's stuff like this that really touch us to know that we're doing the right thing, because we're in the best position out of everyone to know exactly what's going on and to try to do the best so we can save as many lives. So that's been really nice. A lot of companies are donating shoes, clothes for us to wear that we can just throw out once we leave. The number one thing that you can do for yourself, for your community, for your family, for humans, civilization now, right? The whole world is facing this, is just isolate yourself. You have to just isolate yourself. If you live with just your husband, you need to just stay home as much as possible with just you and your husband. Don't introduce anybody new into your routine, into your house, into your life. That's the number one. And also cleanliness, hand hygiene. But we learned that this virus lives on any surface: plastic, steel, copper, wood, fabric, clothes. So you can wash your hands until your hands fall off, but the virus is everywhere. So you have to try the best, and it's spread in droplet particles in the air. So you have to try the best to not come into contact with anyone if possible. We also have to buy food. We have to go buy medication. But if you have access to a mask, gloves, you should be utilizing that when you're out in the street.